Hello YouTube, it's Paxton here with Comrade Games, here to give you a deck tech on a deck that I'm calling Mardu Deck Wins. Now Mardu Deck Wins is a very fast deck, based around hitting your opponent on the head and killing them by turn 4 or 5. And it uses a great amount of the Mardu Ascendancy as well as the Butcher the Horde to achieve that through sacking and hitting them where it hurts. Anyways, to start this deck out, I'm going to go over the creatures, the spells, and then the land, all based on converted mana cost. And we're just going to get her rolling. Anyways, to start things off, we got a 4-up, the Blood-Soaked Champion. Now, the Blood-Soaked Champion is just a great all-around creature. For 1 black, I get a 2/1 creature, and for 1 mana and 1 colorless and black, I get to bring it up from the graveyard. He's mainly just a versatile creature, especially when it comes to a lot of the sacking outlets that come with this deck. And just basically having a guy to go out and trigger raid, or generate goblins, or just put pressure on your enemy. And in this deck, we're going to be running a 4 of that. Next off here, I got the Chief of the Edge. Now, because this deck runs a lot of warriors, Chief of the Edge is kind of essential to keeping the deck hitting harder. Basically giving all your creatures +1/+0. It's just a great all-around creature and a great addition to this deck. I'll be running 4 of in this deck. Next up on the list is the Bloodchin Rager. And the Bloodchin Rager, similar to the Chief of the Edge, is mainly designed around getting your creatures harder to block by having that have to be blocked by 2 or more creatures. So by having him in the deck, we're really making things more versatile and things harder on our opponents. We'll be running a 4 of that. Next up on the list is the Mardu Strike Leader. Now, the Mardu Strike Leader is mainly in this list to generate tokens for the sack outlets later, but also gives you a great amount of board presence when he's on the field. And for 3 mana, having that 3/2 and having the ability to dash, especially doing more damage if you have 1 or more Chiefs of the Edge, it's a really great creature to have for this deck and also helps generate that board presence, which is very important. And we'll be running 4 of the Mardu Strike Leader. Anyways, moving on, I have a 1-up of the Brutal Horde Chief. Now, the reason I have only 1 of the Brutal Horde Chief mainly revolves around its Foul Tongue Shriek on a stick, and mainly due to its mana cost. Having that 4 mana is kind of a hindrance to this deck, because we're going to be wanting to win turn 4 or 5, especially with all the creatures that we're going to be having on the field. Now, this guy is great because he allows us to possibly put all the blockers onto 1 goblin through to his ability right here, and it also saps our opponent for 1 life for each attacking creature. As I said before, he's basically a Foul Tongue Shriek on a stick. And he's also able to get the buffs from the Chief of the Edge and from the Bloodchin Rager, making him harder to kill, hitting harder, and just generally being a great creature. We'll be running 1 of these. Now time for the all-star of the deck. Anyways, the Butcher of the Horde. Anyways, he is kind of the cornerstone of how everything works. Turn 4, we want him out and we want him swinging. And all the tokens generated either from the Mardu Strike Leader or even sacking out a Blood-Soaked Champion really get him going turn 4. And by having him out in the field, we really start to have things going our way. And basically having the ability to sack for either Vigilance, Lifelink, or Haste is just an amazing ability to have on this creature. And it is really versatile and causes your opponent a lot of hell, especially with Lifelink. And I'll be running 4 of these guys in this deck. Now, all these creatures work really well with each other, especially with sack outlets, with the Blood-Soaked Champion, and having tokens from Mardu Strike Leader, and all the buffs happening all around. Just a very synergetic group of warriors here. Just going to move these guys to the side to make room for the spells. Anyways, what we got here, first off, is we got a 4 of Titan Strength. Titan Strength is great. It's basically a lightning bolt on a stick, and you get the ability to have that scrying, which is really important so you're not drawing into fluff, because this deck really wants to be kicking off really quickly. Hitting your opponent harder is always great, and we're running 4 of these in the deck. Next off we got here is the Foul Tongue Shriek. Now, this is basically a potential finisher for our opponent due to the fact that we're going to be generating a lot of tokens with this deck. And this card allows us basically to sap our opponents and drain them for every creature attacking, and really just an amazing card for this deck. It can either help us stay us alive, or it can help us get our opponent down to that crucial amount, 0 life. And I'll be running 3 of these in this deck. Next up on our list is a good old Lightning Strike. Now, Lightning Strike is just basically a versatile damage dealer. If you're more interested in eliminating creatures, adding in some of the sideboard tech, especially the Foul Tongue Invocation, is a really good sub-in for that. Or if you really want to add in black, having the ultimate price is great to kind of get rid of those pesky creatures. But this is just a versatile card. I can either do 3 damage to my opponent or target creature, and it's just a versatile card. And we're going to be running 4 of these in this deck. Next up is one of my favorite cards in this entire deck, the Crackling Doom. Now, Crackling Doom gets around with a lot of protection spells, and also allows you to get rid of pesky creatures. You want to keep your opponent's creatures with low power, and having the ability with this to make them sack their most tough creature, and have them lose 2, powerful creature, and having the ability for them to lose 2 life is just awesome. We're going to be running 4 of in this deck. Next up is another key part of this entire deck, the Mardu Ascendancy. Now, the Mardu Ascendancy basically allows us to generate the goblins that we need and the pressure that we need, especially with the combination with the Butcher of the Horde. Having the ability to swing and then sack is just amazing, because having those creatures on the field turn 3, and at least having 1 goblin, allows you to have a turn 4 Butcher of the Horde. And when he attacks, you can sack another goblin to give him lifelink, vigilance, or both. And having this card really gives you versatility, especially when you're looking at the second ability, which allows you to get a +0/+3, which gets around a lot of things, especially Languish, a lot of other abilities that would completely wipe your board. This deck is basically your shield and your sword, and it's just an amazing card to have in this deck. And there's going to be a 4 of in this deck. Now, all these spells basically roll around killing your opponent faster or clearing the way for your opponent, for you. And it's just a great versatile package that we have for this deck. If you're going to be subbing anything out of this in order your sideboard, it would mainly be this, because it can be subbed out to be more versatile due to the fact that we do have that Brutal Horde Chief. Now, just going to move on to the land here. Let's just remove these creatures. Anyways, we want a consistent amount of mana in this deck, doing it being a 3-colored deck. With that, we have to at least have a turn 1 black, but we also have to have the ability to have white. And because of that, we're running a 4 of the Cave of Koilos. Just be able to get that black and white and that versatility. Next up is a Battlefield Forge. Now, due to the fact that we do run a lower amount of red and white, this is a very important card. But it is a lackluster card that can be penalizing to you more of. Overall, it's just a great card, and running 2 of these in this deck. Anyways, the Bloodfell Caves is just ability to attack for black and red. Simple, you gain 1 life, which is really good against mirror matches or other aggro decks, as those 1 life can be paying later. It also helps to pay for the Caves of Koilos or the Battlefield Forge, and helping keep yourself alive. Running 2 of these in the deck. Next up is the Windscarred Crag, another ability for you to tap for red or white, same as the Bloodfell Caves. It's really just a great card. It does come in tapped, but you're not paying 1 life every turn like you would the Battlefield Forge or the Caves of Koilos. You gain 1 life, which is just still great. Running 2 of those in the deck. Next up is our basic lands, running 4 swamps. As I said, we want that turn 1 black to play the Bloodsoaked Champion and help curve out. So having the swamps is very versatile and very great. So we're running 4 of the swamp. Next up is our plains. Running 3 of these because it's less Scrooge will have the white. But we also have the lands here to help tap for white or red. And same with the red, running 3 of each. Basically, so we have enough to have all our fun stuff like the Butcher of the Horde or the Mardu Ascendancy or Crackling Doom. So we'll be running 3 of each of the plains and the mountains. And that's our land base. I run 20 lands in this entire deck. And it basically helps curve out. We don't want too much mana, but we want to have enough. So yeah. Now I'm just going to put these to the side here. And we're going to get on to the sideboard options. Ugh. Anyways, what we got here is the 3 of Foul Tongue Invocation. As I said when I was going over the spells here. This allows us to have our opponent sack a creature, which is under our protection. It has a potential sub-in for the Lightning Strike. That will be rotating here in 2 months. And it's just a great card all around, getting around protection, as I said, and making your opponent sack a creature is always awesome. Running 3 of these in the sideboard. Next up is the Impact Tremors. Now the reason I have 4 of these is because it combos really well with this entire deck, with all the dashing, all the token generation, and all the fun stuff we get to do with the Mardu Ascendancy. It can really start to penalize our opponents, and by having this, we really just have the ability to hit them without even hitting them. So we run 4 of these in the sideboard. Next up is a 3 of Coat with Venom. Now, Coat with Venom is a premium combat trick. Basically, it allows us to have our normally suicidal Bloodsoaked Champion take a guy with him or even survive. Due to the fact that we can bring Bloodsoaked Champion back, or even throwing this on a Goblin, any expendable troop that we have, it's going to take down a bigger enemy due to the fact that they're going to be blocking a creature with potentially higher toughness and damage than a blocked creature would be. So having 3 of these is great because it allows us to do a lot of combat tricks. It just really is an awesome card for this deck. And there's going to be 3 of these in the sideboard. Next up is the Mardu Shadow Spear. Now this is basically a sub-in creature if we need more creatures, especially in the mirror match. And if we just need to have the ability to punch in harder, the dash ability is awesome. Having a creature that hits even without hitting is also great. Having that 1 black is awesome. Just a great value creature, and we'll be running 3 of these in the sideboard. And our last card that we're going to be running is the Ride Down. Ride Down is just more removal. By destroying a target creature and still being able to hit is awesome, because your opponent's going to be wanting to block a lot of creatures due to the fact that there's going to be a lot of creatures on the board, and they don't want to lose turn 5. That ability to trick them into it and having them hit hard is just a great ability. So having 2 of these in the sideboard is just awesome. Anyways, that's the entire deck. This is the Mardu Deck Wins, and it's a very fast deck, very versatile deck, and can be really surprised for anyone at F&M. This deck really works great against mid-range decks, as we'll be beating them to the punch, as well as control decks, due to the fact that we have the ability to have a large board presence. This deck does have a hard time dealing with Languish, but that's what the Mardu Ascendancy is for, and there's a lot of versatility in the entire deck. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'm Paxton with Comrade Games. Thank you.